Hi guys, thank you. My name is Ashton. I'm the founder of OpenxAI. So thank you for coming. So today we have a couple of segments. I'm gonna speak to you a little bit about OpenxAI, and then Sam, our CTO, he's gonna do a demo about the Base Mini App Factory. It's still in beta, so things can go wrong. And then we're gonna have a panel talk with Asal. So we are very privileged to have her here today. We're aiming for like 4:30 max, but it can go a little bit longer. So today I want to, before I show you about OpenxAI, I want to give you some more context about what's going on in the AI space. So I've got a video. Okay, we'll start from the beginning.
Global AI spending more than $330 billion in 2025 and $500 billion by the end of 2026. And by 2030, it could take about $2 trillion a year to support the infrastructure being built today. That's more than Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, and Google's parent company Alphabet made combined in revenue in 2024.
It's the start of trillions being spent in this build out of the fourth industrial revolution. Big tech right now is doing the equivalent of building Vegas in the 1950s where there was just sand. Dubai 30 years ago. That's what's happening with this AI infrastructure build out. From the chips to the data centers to the grid, you're really building out the future economy for consumers and enterprises.
Experts call the spending surge we're seeing a CapEx supercycle. This is when companies keep pouring money into building out the infrastructure for this new technology.
When we talk about super cycles, we think about an accelerated pace of something. We talk about sort of a peak, things that we have seen in the past when huge changes come about in industry.
This is the biggest tech spending trend we've seen in the last 40, 50 years. There's a view that it typically ends a CapEx cycle after 2 to 3 years. The super cycle means that this could go on not just 2 to 3 years, 5, 7, 10 years. That's why by definition it's really an AI tech super cycle.
So I was thinking of making those slides yesterday, but I found the video. This might be easier, so that's why I played you. So as you can see now, we have either we have a super cycle or going through an S-curve as an AI industry. So also, if you think about AI itself, we know AI is the most powerful technology that human have ever invented and created. But if you really look at AI accessibility to people, most people can't access AI. Because who can afford like $20 per month if you're living in Africa or Asia? So the other question you have to ask yourself, like who owns AI? Like who controls the AI? Who has the biggest talent? Who has the biggest data centers? The answer for that question is quite obvious. There's only like 4 or 5 companies control the entire AI space. And they are all in a race to prove who's bigger and better. The challenge we have, we have a cabal of Western world AI and also China. We have another race. The situation we have, it's a trust be bro kind of a situation because we don't know what's happening behind the scene. They decide what is good in terms of the AI features, AI future, what kind of a talent needs to be allocated for those innovations. If you look at like a crisis, in 2006, financial regulations like CFTC and SEC, they reduced the regulations over financial market. And what happened in 2 years later, we had a global financial crisis. And if you look at this year, specifically with Trump, with the big, beautiful bill, it's actually the same thing. They reduced the regulatory oversight on AI. So we don't know when the danger or when the shit show going to happen. Because, I mean, it's not like, is it going to happen or not? It's just the question is when. Because when you're given a small when you're given so much power, accountability to a small group of people, history has shown over and over again we have a bad outcome. So, for example, 2008, World War II. I mean, I can give you tons of examples. So the problem with the centralized power and centralized monopoly is always bad. And also, it's kind of like against the very basic principle that we admire, and of course we also aligning with our ethos, which is democracy. We think we are living in a democratic society, but if you think about the structure, like small group of people control a lot of AI technology, and they decide what is good for society. So that's not a democracy. So if I were to give you sort of a comparison, back in the Ottoman Empire or Genghis Khan time, those few individual people, they thought what is good for society and they did it. People like general public like you and I, we couldn't do anything about it. Today, we have the same kind of structure. You cannot contact OpenAI or Google or Meta saying, hey, I don't like this direction for where the AI is going. You cannot do anything about it. So we are in a kind of a stuck in the same structure. It's the same kind of a pyramid what used to have before compared to ancient time. So in summary, we have the most powerful technology. It's centralized, people can't afford, and people can't access. So I think it's a design problem. It's not just a technological problem. It's a major design problem across societies, across legal systems, and across economic models. So if you take a step back and look at the evolution of public infrastructure, we used to have like roads. When we call it public infrastructure, we treat like roads, railways, power grid. These are public infrastructure. But we also see evolution of these public infrastructure being like IT infrastructure, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, internet, as an example. If you look at the difference between, I'm talking about design difference, design philosophy difference. Most of the systems today is centralized. If you look at the evolution of a lot of these distributed networks or distributed systems, these are decentralized and distributed. So I'm going to show you like kind of like a 3 good use cases how these kind of a distributed networks are evolving. So take internet. During the internet era, the internet protocol called TCP/IP protocol, as soon as that introduced to public, it's changed everything. So you and I, we can connect. I can do live stream. It changed pretty much a lot in the world of technology. And if you look at the Web3 era, you have a networks like Bitcoin. So all of a sudden, instead of me relying on a third party for value sharing or sending value from one person to another, that also changed. And the key difference here, there's no corporation behind it. There's no CEO. There's no company behind it. To me, Bitcoin kind of a network, these are living and breathing digital ecosystems. So regardless of my location, I can access the network and I can execute whatever I want without a middleman. So it's basically using cryptography and also the properties of permissionless. So permissionless means there's no permission required for me to access the network. And if you look at OpenxAI as a protocol, as a network, we try to keep the same design, which means there's no company behind OpenxAI, and it's a permissionless decentralized protocol who anyone can access. So the difference here, unlike other decentralized networks, we are focusing on AI industry. So it's a very simple way. What's the difference between Bitcoin and OpenxAI? So we are making AI borderless. So the name of OpenxAI, it came in a funny story, because if you look at OpenxAI word, we just basically took OpenAI and xAI, which is both, they claim they want to be open source. but they never fulfill their obligations. So to me, it's a cool name, OpenxAI. So that's why we chose it. We've been building for quite some time now. The underlying infrastructure called OpenMesh, we've been building for the last 4 years. OpenxAI is a protocol built on top of OpenMesh. So if you look at like an evolution of AI space, I think this is the evolution is happening right now. Most of the AI today is in the far left, right-hand side. So you have most of the AIs today are closed source. And if you look at open source, these are open source software anyone can use, modify, and etc. And decentralized AI to me is basically an open source software with a token. Predominantly, most of the decentralized AI services are kind of like a SaaS services with a token. The permissionless AI means you don't need to register. There's no KYC. Regardless of your location, you should be able to access the network. And at the same time, let's say I'm the one who's using the network. I should be able to access it. And then I can use it, utilize it, build AI services. Let's say Sam is a consumer. He should be able to access the network without having any problem. So I'm going to give you a very simple example for you guys to understand the difference between decentralized AI systems versus permissionless AI protocols. So those who are familiar with IPFS, it's one of the greatest innovation in Web3 space. So simply, what is IPFS as a protocol allow you to do? I'm a user. I can go to IPFS protocol. Then I can store an image, and I can generate a public hash key. And then that hash can be sent it to anybody. So let's say Sam is a user. He can access that image without a middleman. So I can deposit a file, and he can access without a middleman. And this interaction is attached to my wallet. So I'm the only one can control what's going on into the file or the smart contract that I use. So the cool thing here is I can interact with peer-to-peer with the user and the creator and the users. So OpenxAI the same kind of a design. So I can activate an AI service or AI agent or AI applications. Then I can create that and attach to my wallet. And I can share that with anybody. So in a peer-to-peer manner, people can interact with the network. So imagine like I can build my own ChatGPT, run it on the network, and anyone can access that without a middleman. So that's very, very powerful. So I think if you look at the last crypto cycle, NFT became a big deal. So NFT, you have an image, usually is a JPEG, and then you have a NFT out of it. What we will enable NFTs for AI agents and AI services. So people can build AI services and AI agents. You can transfer or trade like NFTs, which we think is really cool. Going deeper into the architecture of the networks, we have two different components. One is the network, which is the worldwide network of nodes. We leverage a lot of unused compute. So we leverage OpenMesh network. So OpenMesh is a decentralized cloud network. And then we have the protocol on top, which is the rule book. So the difference between like traditional AI systems versus OpenxAI. So we are completely Web3, which means instead of using email, we use like wallet. You don't have to pay in credit cards. You can use crypto. And for me, the most important thing is permissionless. So our network can be accessed from anywhere in the world, and anyone can access that network from anywhere in the world. That's very important. So it's a full stack technology that we built. It has a lot of moving parts and components. Happy to give you guys more in-depth, but today I want to keep it high level. So let's talk about like a one utility or the use case, because this use case is a very important for people to understand. Also, like we've done that experiment in Australia. So if you look at like a journey for an AI entrepreneur launching an AI company, the feedback we received is like launching an AI internet company back in 90s. Same kind of a painful journey. So here I see type of like a four stages. So imagine I want to start an AI company. So first thing I need to do, I need to come up with an example or a concept or idea. So this example I'm going to give you, this is basically a startup in Australia which we evaluated. So as two students, they left university. They started AI company. Basically, it's a chatbot similar like ChatGPT, but the difference here, it's trained to cheat exams. So you can go into their website, you can subscribe, you can register, and then you can ask for 100 questions for free. A lot of students love to obviously find a way to cheat exams. So they found a solution is a really, really great solution. But if you look at the journey, so they came up with an idea, stage one, and then they have to find a cloud provider to host their service. And then they have to build the back end, the front end, all of that stuff. And then when it's come to running a business, because they need to collect revenue. So their business model is, as a user, you can go to their website, register, and you can ask 100 questions for free. Anything more than 100 questions, you have to pay $10 or Australian dollars per month. So as a entrepreneurs or a startup, in order to collect payments from end users, you have to integrate credit card payment system, like Visa, MasterCard, and etc. And then in order for you to receive payments from the MasterCard or Visa, you need to have a company bank account. In order to have a company bank account, you need to have a company. In order to have company, you have to have lawyers and etc. We see, even though you build the technology, but go from 0 to 1, it takes a lot of efforts and energy. Often these, like having a company bank account, it can be quite privileged to certain regions. If you go to Africa, people don't even have bank accounts. They cannot even start an AI company because they can't even have a bank account. And I'm originally from Sri Lanka, so if you speak to my people in Sri Lanka, like in the tech space, if I ask, hey, can you start an AI company tomorrow? The first question, like, okay, I can do it, but how do I collect payments? How do I integrate credit card payment system? Because if you reach out to MasterCard, they will not even accept your application because Sri Lanka is a very, very small region. So the challenge here going from 0 to 1, it's a very difficult because of the stage number 3 and stage number 4. That's why what we leverage. So basically, instead of having to set up a company, instead of having to set up bank accounts, we use completely Web3 infrastructure. For example, instead of having a company bank account, you leverage Web3 wallets. You can accept payments directly. Instead of having a SaaS or software as a service credit card systems, we leverage base smart contracts. So you can build like a business logic. We call it Onchain business logic, or we call it Onchain SaaS. So I'm going to show you briefly how it works so you guys can understand. So our website is openxai.org, so you can go and test it. So here is our platform. So this platform is completely Web3 native, which means there's no registration with email or password or traditional Web2 infrastructure, unfortunately. So it has to be completely Web3. So we have an app store. In the app store, we have a bunch of LLMs. So let's say I want to build my own ChatGPT. Let's say trained for Dubai real estate, as an example. So I want to go from 0 to 1. I can do that within like 5 minutes. I don't need a bank account. I don't need any of those traditional railways for me to go from 0 to 1. Once I set up my company, I can, or my AI service, I can let people use immediately. So I think that's I would say the innovation and a breakthrough here. So I'm going to select like a foundational model, because in order to have AI chatbots or AI services, you need to have a foundational model. I'm going to choose a version. And so the first step is select your foundational model. We have tons of foundational models on our App Store. Second is where you're going to host your AI service. So here, selecting your host, we have multiple options. We have open mesh integration, so which means it's going to scan real time what kind of a cheaper node that you have. So this is very important, because if you go to our a network, this network is provided by open mesh. So all these nodes are GPU optimized or CPU optimized node. You can rent this from anywhere in the world. And when you rent your machine, it's attached to your wallet, so the only person who can access this machine is you. We also have a concept called tokenizing your GPU or tokenizing your server, so it becomes liquid. So we've got tons of supply. As you can see, we've got tons of different options. The reason why this is important, a lot of people cannot afford AI services because it's very expensive. So we made it affordable for a lot of people. So I'll do a demo live deployment. So I go here, and I'm going to choose for the sake of the demo, I'm going to choose a free trial from OpenxAI. And then the third option is the tokenization. So this is where we leverage Base. So we are privileged to work with Base team. We've been building for the last maybe 9 months. So this part is where you apply the on-chain layer. So here you have multiple options. So if you want to sell your entire AI as an NFT, so for example, let's say Sam is a builder. He built, let's say, a chatbot, and it's trained for, let's say, Dubai real estate as an example, and he's running and operating. And he decided to sell the whole business or the whole chatbot to another person. So what he can do, he can actually sell the whole thing as an NFT, which is a really, really powerful. Or if Sam wants to build, let's say, more customized versions. So when I say customized versions, so people who are using the app, they'd have to be paying. So he can use whether he can create a free or paid version. So instead of having a bank account, he can use a wallet. He can use one wallet, multiple wallets if he wants to. So which means Sam doesn't need to have a bank account. And then for protecting your intellectual property, he can use cryptography, he can use smart contracts, he can leverage Ethereum security because Base use Ethereum security. Instead of having a company, you can have smart contracts. I think that's the evolution and that's the future. So I'm going to skip the tokenization part. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit build. So what's happening now, it's going to locate a GPU. And it's a bare metal GPU. What that means is like when you imagine you buy a computer from a store, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have operating system. It doesn't have anything. So what's happening now, you provision a server for you attached to your wallet and start installing all the way from operating system to then it's going to install AI infrastructure, AI, any dependencies is needed, everything autonomously. Not only that, since I choose to build a front end along with my AI service, it's also going to build a front end for you. So after this deployment, I can show you, it's going to showcase your entire stack, and you can see all the services and up and running. So this is going to take like 2 minutes. I will show you a few other slides. So in terms of our breakthroughs and innovation, so there are a couple of things we enable. So the first and most important thing is we are making AI borderless. That's a very important part. Here's an example in terms of our benchmarks. If you're building, let's say, an AI service on a centralized cloud, there are a lot of limitations. So for us, it's a permissionless aspect is very important. And then when it's come to energy and energy usage, since we are using or utilizing unused compute from around the world, it's actually more energy efficient and also green energy. The other thing is about the price optimization or cost optimization. As you can see, we are optimized up to like 92% energy and cost optimization. When it's come to like, this is a benchmark that we did running DeepSeek. So running DeepSeek for 12 months. If you look at it, the OpenxAI is right here, and the other providers are quite expensive. And then another key aspect when it's come to privacy, AI privacy is a really important topic today. AI privacy, it's basically people don't even want to even talk about. In our case, since your control of the entire infrastructure attached to your wallet, unless you lose your private key, nobody can access your infrastructure, which is really, really cool. So let me go to the deployment. It's still deploying. So what it does now, if there are any smart contracts or anything that require the building, is going to build a smart contract for you. So here you've got all the settings that you choose. Anything that you enter in the front end, in the back end, you can see what are the things that have basically deployed. So now you have the app. So the cool thing here, this URL is generated just for you. You can go and buy a GoDaddy domain, and you can update that domain to you. You can say, let's say, realestatechatgpt.ae or whatever. You can buy Ethereum domain. You can make it even decentralized. Now, what I've done, I've basically built my own chatbot on a server that I control, and I have my business model all built into the system. Then what I can do, I can go and change all the look and feel, the colors and themes and etc. So this is very powerful. I think a lot of people will realize utilize this power, because the reason why I'm excited, if you look at like how technology is kind of adopting in different regions, like how internet people went from like dial-up to let's say fiber connectivity to 5G. If you look at like developing countries, they went from no dial-up and no fiber, they went straight to 5G. So I think that's the evolution, and also that's the innovation. So we're going to expect a lot of people utilizing our network, building AI services, and launch it under 5 minutes. So in other words, we are kind of bringing the AI as a technology, as innovation to everybody. So I'm going to now hand over to Sam. He can do a live demo. What we have today, what you saw, is called a version 4. This is a version 4 platform. This is called the version 4. What we are launching towards the end of the month is version 5. Version 5 has specific chain agnostic landing pages. So this is what it look like. If you select a base, if you click base chain, it's gonna open up your base native page. So from here, you can access specific base related applications. So one of the application that we build is called the Base Mini App Builder. So which is, I think, is really cool, because like if you think about base as a network and base app as a super app, the way I see base app like a WeChat of Web3. So you can do not just a wallet, not the e-commerce, you can do a lot of other things. So for us, it's very exciting to see a greater distribution. So the way we see of how integrate ourselves with base and base app, so you can go and build a base mini apps like a chatbot. So he's going to show you how it works. But the idea here, base app itself, it's like an iPhone or Android Play Store kind of a period. If you want to build a base mini apps, it's a little bit technical. So what we build an app. You can actually deploy your apps by simply chatting.